To think that once I could not see beyond the veil of our reality. To see those who dwell behind. My life now has purpose, for I have learned the frailty of flesh and bone. I was once a fool. Where is quies candamest? Where is conservandi? Facusatis aquae sumat, et animus eorum conferma. Pupna huis, dia sit modo prima multarum, si inceptum conficiamus.
Quam primum, Centurio Augustus. I would like to compliment you once more on your battle tactics.
Oh, you learned English.
Did not have a chance.
It is the universal language.
Of course.
Do you believe that it really exists, Centurion?
I do not doubt our Emperor's beliefs, or his orders. But if we are to retrieve the artifact, then we must be strong and patient. Come to us, pious Augustus.
Okay.
Alright, if you say so.
Most of the time that you see runes in this game, they actually do have significance. They're not just arbitrary scribblings.
They're not just something the developers looked up on the internet and say, yeah, that one's pretty cool. Put that in the game.
They might have been originally, but they have since been prescribed actual meaning within the game.
Are they, like, actual runes of are they legitimate, or are they made up for the game?
That is a question I don't really know how to answer, but what the point just being, if there is stuff written somewhere, it's actual runes that will become significant, like you would use them in spells or something like that later on down the road. It's not just going to be arbitrary lines that they just, there, it's a thing, put it on a wall.
Alright. Pius will climb down this ladder. Hey, Spooky. Doesn't have anything to say about that one. So, I noticed there's a sneaking ability. Is this important?
Yes, it is. There are actually enemies that you will encounter that are blind.
Well, skeletons don't have eyes.
They have heads, so they will be able to see, quote unquote.
Okay, so... Okay, is it just head and...
You can go left and right to target their arms as well. It's actually kind of fun to take off all of their limbs so they're just like shambling torsos.
Done. Can you still hurt me?
I don't remember if the head can hurt you, but you can chop the head off and see if it...
I missed.
Oh, no, killed him.
Finish him!
So finishing isn't super important right now because it hasn't introduced a sanity meter, because apparently Pius is just a badass and has no need for such things. But eventually, as you start losing sanity in later sections of the game, it will be really important to perform finishing moves as often as possible, because that is how you will recover little bits of sanity here and there. And the only other way to recover it, I believe there are items that you can use that are very few and far between, but there are also spells.
Laudanum! Everybody knows that laudanum is the best thing to restore sanity.
I don't even know what that is.
Laudanum is something that's
Oh,
not
you didn't
good.
finish him. You didn't finish him.
Oh! Gotta do everything.
And every weapon that you have will have a different finishing move as well. Fun story. So if you have one and one character that has multiple weapon options, each finishing move they perform will be different.
Is it just for visual effect, or...?
Yeah, it doesn't do anything special. It's just kind of interesting that they take the time to do that.
No! Is there any sort of dodge mechanic, or do I just have to run?
There's not much as far as dodging. Most of the enemies that you fight will not be particularly dodgy themselves, so your best bet is to just kind of stay ahead of them and position yourself well so they don't get their attacks before you get yours. I like how things just evaporate when you kill them.
Well, otherwise it would take up too much data to keep them sitting there.
We gotta remember this is game 2.
Remember, it's a tiny disc.
But that has to do with the... Never mind. I'll just leave it alone.
Oh, spooky, scary.
You can also choose not to target and just chain attacks. Smaller weapons tend to have better chains. I guess the Gladius isn't like that, though. Maybe it's just when you dual-wield stuff that you really get quick chains of attacks.
Oh wait, if I don't lock onto them.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. That looks familiar.
Sick.
That usually isn't your best option, especially if you're surrounded by a lot of enemies like that.
Just something to get a quick hit in. No!
It's particularly helpful if you're fighting single enemies. In particular, things that you just have to put a lot of damage on. Because these guys, you can kill them by just removing enough of their limbs.
I played enough Dead Space to know how to remove limbs. Give me that.
There are enemies that you'll fight, though, that you can take off all their limbs and they're still up.
So they're clearly not necromorphs.
Sure.
You never played Dead Space?
I have not, no.
It's a violent game. Moms hate Dead Space.
They can't make games violent. That always gets people the first time that happens.
Whoa. What was it?
It was just the
spooky
oil
spark.
lamp sputtered. It was a spooky sputter. Not to be confused with the spooky spider.
Are there spooky spiders in here?
Not that I'm aware of. Actually, I don't even know if there are any spider-related enemies in this. I don't think.
How could there not be a spider-related enemy in a horror game?
I don't know. There are things that are more spider-like, but it's not a spider.
Is there a way to, like, control the camera at all, or is it all just automatic?
I think some rooms might have some ability to control cameras. Some of them just have set camera angles, though.
I mean, I'm okay with set camera angles, but I want to see her on corners.
Usually, one of the best things about this game and how combat tends to work is that pretty much every enemy makes sounds when it moves. So if you're not sure whether you should look around a corner, if you just sit still, you can hear the splooshing and the splashing of their zombie feet.
I hate splooshy zombie feet. Why is it that zombies always sound squishy when they walk?
Yeah, the fact that they're rotting probably has something to do with that.
Are there any weapons that can hit more than one enemy at a time?
The larger ones, I think, tend to be good at that. I think you actually were kind of knocking into a bunch of them at once.
I need some AoE.
If you knock their heads off, they have a harder time chasing you, though. Because they can't hear you anymore. Because their zombie ears are very adept. And then you can just pick them off at your leisure. They may just stand there attacking randomly. Yeah, they do. In fact, you can put them in front of each other and make them kill each other.
This game have any... The only meter in this game that you're being judged by is the sanity meter, right?
There's sanity, there's health, there's mana.
Well, I meant other than health. Health is obvious.
Well, I mean, sanity is a form of health in this game, more or less.
See, in Amnesia... the sanity meter, I liked that it was there, but there weren't any real consequences to losing your sanity. You basically just fell down. and then the monsters could grab you if there was one chasing you at the time.
So with this, when your sanity meter drops to 0, you actually start losing whatever points you would have lost in health rather than sanity. So you actually do get hurt after a while.
I do not recall... Oh, I'm a puzzle master. Put it in.
You have to go to the menu.
What is this, Resident Evil?
I mean, it's from the same era. What? How did you know that went there?
What? I know my colors.
That is the Manta Rock room.
It's a what now? Manta?
Manta Rock, I believe. It's been a few years. You don't find that after a while.
That's the Manta rune.
That is...
Is there a check? There's a check.
Zelotov, I believe.
Zealot rune.
Spell the next, though.
Oh, of course. Then it's the Shilatov.
I believe that is Chaturga.
But where's Jojoda?
In another game, I'm sure. And that is Uyaf.
Uyaf is my favorite. That's why I saved him for last. Was there no other... Was it the door I came in? Oh wait, no, that unlocked the thingamajig, right?
Yes, that was the door on the other side of the hallway. The one that you tried to get into before, but didn't.
Spooky.
So before this point, they just expected you to swing wildly. This is where they teach you about targeting.
Would have been nice to know in the shotgun dream.
Seeing as it didn't matter if you survived.
Well, I did, and so it does matter. It matters to me.
But it didn't matter because you survived even without the instruction.
Just mean I'm good at video games.
Are you trying to teabag the statue?
Get owned.
Get ripped, statue. Get ruined. Get ruined.
Get dunked on.
Damn it.
Ooh, he's a big one. Wait, is he bigger?
Yeah, he is.
Spooky.
You can actually find really, really small zombies in some places. And it's like, oh, that's kind of cute.
Well, until you realize that they're probably dead children, and then it kind of takes the fun out of it.
No, it's still cute.
Oh, he's an adorable little jumbo.
So yeah, it may not seem like a real issue right now, but later on, when you're like fighting off hordes of things, and there's one that just disintegrates in the corner because you forgot to finish it off, you're gonna feel that, because you'll be like, no, that's insanity, I'm not gonna get back now.
Oh, so you don't finish them off to keep them from standing back up?
No, you finish them off to get the sanity back. Eventually they just deteriorate on their own. The only things that get health back
I assumed that they were like...
are certain like fleshy zombies, like those are dead, dry zombies. But there are like red, fleshy zombies.
So they're crimson heads.
Except they don't run. They just happen to be a little...
Pius will push this button. He just refers to himself in the third person all the
And
time.
now he's qualified to fight in the World Martial Arts Tournament.
Yes! He is pretty ripped. He doesn't seem all that fazed by all this magical teleportation and whatnot.
Yeah, you'd think that he would just go back.
He's like, whatever, I'm a badass.
So, fun story. This decision that you make here determines the rest of this playthrough.
Oh, well, blue team. Perfect. The decision made. What are they? It's not going to tell you anything about them?
Nope.
Oh, lovely.
It tells you they're artifacts.
Well, obviously. So, Emerald, Ruby, and Sapphire. Oh, it's just Red Clawed. It doesn't even say what that's made of. Blue team rules. I stick with my decisions. It should have been red, blue, and yellow.
This is actually around the era when Pokemon Yellow came out.
Well, I'm talking about primary colors, not Pokemon games.
I mean, why would you not be talking about Pokemon games?
He looks fine. He's gonna pull through. He's gonna walk it off.
The eons have passed since then, and I have learned much. All at once, I understood. The forces of the multiverse all made sense under the
Friggin'
transcendent
multiverse.
power of Ulyaoth. No mountain too high, no city too far. Face me, and you shall surely perish.
That's what I wanted to see.
You already figured most of it out.
Yeah, but
Let the record show that Ken just held up the booklet that came with the game and...
Put that up on the screen. Future me, put that on the screen. Everybody can see it now. But I figured it out without its help.
And by that he means future me, hey, text Paul to have him take a picture of that.
Not future you, future me.
Right, I'm just saying, you're reminding future you to text me to say to send a picture of this so you can put it in your video.
I'm sure it's on the interwebs somewhere. Meanwhile, I have a sword. Hey, what's this? Was this here before?
It may not have been glowy before.
This is the Tome of Eternal Darkness. That sounds important.
It's a page from the Tome of Eternal Darkness. The book that you picked up, that you currently have in your inventory.
The eponymous book.
Mm-hmm.
It's just an item.
Mm-hmm.
Read it.